You are listening to Venus Rose, interactive spiritual Q&A and the power of sound.
Music is like sunshine.
Hello, conscious souls. How are you feeling? The super full moon in Taurus that was exact the last days was gigantic in the night sky. Scientifically, the biggest and the brightest one of the whole year of 2025. They are called supermoons because they look bigger than the usual ones. They do appear this way because they are nearer to Earth than the average full moon. And the last one on the 5th of November was so big because the moon has been even more closer to us. The Taurus qualities that came with this moon as practical and fixed Earth led me personally to bake cake and eat too much of it. Happy birthday to my friend Catherine. May all your wishes be fulfilled. Only the best for you and your loved ones. I visited a concert yesterday evening. Another old friend came to town. I haven't seen him in a while. It was great to talk again. I got to know other childhood friends from him. That was beautiful. It felt good to experience connections that are rooted in the soul. They are always there for you, in whichever way you need them. Nourishing the heart and its electromagnetic so-called toroidal field just through a simple hug is so soothing. Thanks again for this beautiful evening. As we are in Scorpio season, the themes are still about things that go deep. I talked with one of my mentees earlier about how people in her generation Z think about destiny. She said that she lives in the now most of the time, so destined things are not so much on her mind. Though she realized that the horses she is looking after at present came into her life in one way or the other, but she never went out to seek them. And since she loves and feels a strong connection to them, it does feel like fate. I told her that in the way that I see the world, there is no such thing as a coincidence. The question I chose for today is from Anne. Do you believe our path in life is predetermined, or do we ourselves determine the path? Thank you for sending this question in. It is something I guess a lot of people think about, especially in times like this where everything is changing so quickly. For me personally, it is a mixture of both. There are certain pillars in life I believe are predetermined. They are because your soul chose them. When I work with clients, we look into those areas. What has the soul experienced on its journeys? Which things have been unsolved and need attention now? What kind of former adventure holds a pattern that is still active? Does this pattern maybe affect your physical body? Or does your body respond to something from your ancestral lineage? What about psychological issues? It is no secret that they often run in the family. But why? There are so many ways to look at things that influence our lives, and the framework is chosen by you. You may not remember it, but the synopsis of your story has a layout. A lot of people get angry when you say that they have chosen their parents, especially when they have suffered severe trauma through them. I know what I have endured in my own story. Not much fun. What I have seen and experienced is that the lineage you choose to be born through is important, because you are the sum of them. Yes, genetically, that is logical and scientifically comprehensible. But all the desires and fears are as well woven into the fabric of the mantle you've chosen. For example, fear patterns are often something people bring forth through their ancestors. The inner critic every one of us knows so well is a conglomerate of ancestral behaviors, assumptions, and opinions. Maybe we have learned them from our parents, maybe not, and we still carry them. Yes, we are all heavily influenced by the people who raised us. That is most definitely the case. Society wants us to believe many things. Of course, this depends where in the world you live and what kind of moral standards are taught there. The country is important for the soul. Whether you live in one where is peace or not is of course quite crucial for your journey here on earth. And your passport allows you to travel, and which destinations are in reach for you and which not. While all of those things have a certain gravity in our life's plan, most of the colorful stuff is determined by your ego. Your ego is in the driver's seat, and in the way we must make our licenses to steer the wheels, the ego has to learn that it is connected to the soul, and with it to Source, or some call it God. You can choose consciously to go farther down that alley, although your gut tells you better not to do it. But what about the plot lines? What I would like to emphasize on is that although your synopsis stands, it is up to you to decide what kind of words, so to speak, you choose to craft the dialogues that are spoken in your story. We are all the directors of our lives. So many people were talking about the book The Secret some years ago. How to best manifest things in our lives is more up to date than ever. That all may be true and necessary, but it is way more complex. What we need to be aware of is that we are all fractals of source energy. Since being connected to this ever-expanding consciousness, we are able to create anything we can think of in a positive direction or a negative one. And with this comes a responsibility. I always tell my clients that it is important that we get to know ourselves. It is crucial to understand from what point of we are operating from. Is this desire truly mine, or does it come from my ancestral lineage? Is this fear mine, or is it from Grandma? We are also beautifully complex beings who simply need to learn how our systems function. So I repeat what I said earlier. From my point of view, it is a mixture of both. Or kind of, because since the soul, who is the supervisor, is you. What do you think? Let me know. Scorpio season is still ongoing. The deep dives are on the regular. The theme of power belongs to Pluto as well. I would love to talk about that too. I love your questions. You can leave them in the comments of my YouTube channel named Crystal Seraphim Sounds or my Instagram. For those of you who do not have social media and love to send questions or would like to book a one-on-one session with me, to get a soul reading about your own spiritual journey, send me an email for further details. You can find everything in the show notes. Thank you all for listening. Have a beautiful start into the new week. And as always, let me know what moves you. Love to you all. Rose.